I never thought buying a snowplow could make me public enemy number one in a town of 1,000 people. But, well, life's funny that way. Or maybe just stupid. Pine Ridge, Vermont. You probably never heard of it. It's the kind of place where folks wave, but also keep track of every time you park on the wrong side of the street. I'm Quentin Yates, and apparently my real crime was trying to help. See, I moved here last September. Bought this old 4-bedroom colonial on Maple Crest Drive. The real estate agent, she gave me the whole song and dance. Beautiful autumns, strong sense of community, all that. Oh, and there's an HOA, but it's only $100 a year. She said that like it was pocket change. Didn't mention the A president runs things like she's got a badge and a nightstick. Maybe I should have known. I moved from Charlotte, North Carolina, where snow is just something you see on a Christmas card. Here, people start prepping for winter before Halloween. I mean, the local hardware store has a whole aisle for snow melting salt. And my neighbor Marcus guy, with a beard, like a mountain hermit, told me I better get myself a plow for my truck. I thought he was joking. He wasn't. Anyway, I just bought this F-250, big, loud, built for tough jobs. So I spent $3,000 on a plow attachment thinking self-sufficiency. Very Vermont. Right. I watched a dozen YouTube videos, practiced in a parking lot. Like a dork, almost ran over my own foot. But by the time the first snow hit, just a couple inches, nothing crazy, I was ready. I woke up before sunrise, giddy as a kid, cleared my driveway in 10 minutes flat, looked across the street, saw my neighbor, Mrs. Patterson, she's maybe 70-something, hacking away at her driveway with a shovel older than me. Couldn't let her break a hip. I plowed her driveway, waved it off when she tried to pay me. Felt like a good neighbor. Guess what word got around? Next big snow, I had folks texting at 6 a.m. The Hendersons, who both work early shifts at the hospital, the Rodrigos, with their 3 kids. Suddenly, I'm up at 4:30, every storm clearing 4 or 5 driveways before most people even have their coffee. Never asked for a cent. Honestly, I liked it, the silence, the sound of metal scraping asphalt, the satisfaction of seeing a job done. But you know what they say about no good deed, right? One Tuesday in December, I get this letter. Fancy letterhead official, looking with the Pine Ridge HOA logo. Jennifer Kensington. 3 paragraphs that could have been cut from a training manual for passive-aggressive jerks. Bottom line, I was to stop plowing before 7 a.m. Apparently, I was disturbing residents' peace. My plow's not exactly a ninja, but have you heard the town plows? They roll through before 6:30, sound like a freight train. I called the number. Jennifer herself answered all syrup on the surface. We've had multiple complaints, she says. Noise ordinance, no heavy machinery before 7. I asked her who complained. That's confidential. Of course it is. I told her I was just helping neighbors, not running a construction site. She didn't care. If I kept it up, she'd fine me. Then she hung up before I could even say goodbye. So I did what any confused new guy does. I went to Mrs. Patterson, asked her if she complained. She looked at me like I was nuts. You're a godsend, she said. If you weren't helping, I'd have to hire that awful service Jennifer's son runs. $100 a storm, can you imagine? Wait, Jennifer's son runs a snowplow business, and here I was, plowing for free, undercutting the golden goose. All that concern about noise, that was just her protecting her son's income. I read the HOA rules that night. Sure enough, tucked into Section 7, no heavy machinery before 7 a.m. 3 days later, another storm. I waited, watched the clock. The minute the clock struck 7, I went out to plow. By then, the town plow had already pushed a mountain of snow into every driveway. Mrs. Patterson was out there looking like she'd blow over in the wind. The Hendersons both running late. Kids stuck at home. It took me twice as long to clear everyone out, and everyone was late. People were pissed. That afternoon, knock at my door. Jennifer this time in person, and another woman, her sidekick, I guess. They invited themselves in, sat on my couch, and started talking fines and unlicensed commercial activity. I almost laughed. I wasn't charging anyone. Didn't matter. According to Jennifer, helping my neighbors impacted property values and was unfair competition. She actually cited bylaws. It was like talking to a parking meter. I could either stop or rack up $200 fines every time I plowed someone else's driveway. I was furious. I vented to Marcus, drank a couple beers with him in my garage. He told me Jennifer had been president for 6 years. No one else wants the job, so her whole family runs the show. Sister-in-law is vice president. Cousin is treasurer. Real cozy. They fined the Mitchells $500 last year because their fence was 6 inches too tall. They fined old Pete for painting his shutters the wrong shade of gray. Total racket. What could I do? Marcus shrugged. Follow the rules, man. Give them nothing to fine you for. Not exactly satisfying, but he had a point. So next storm, I stopped plowing anyone's driveway before 7, even my own. Yeah, it was petty, but if Jennifer wanted to play games, I'd play too. The neighbors weren't thrilled. Mrs. Patterson texted me worried. The Rodrigos missed the bus. Hendersons were late. And I watched Jennifer smug as ever driving her Mercedes around. Then came the big one. December 23rd, 2 days before Christmas. A nor'easter dumped nearly 2 feet of snow in less than 24 hours. Main roads got plowed, but our streets? Nope. I woke up to a text storm, everyone snowed and cars buried. Brandon's premium service. Not showing up until conditions improved. People were trapped. At 9 a.m., Jennifer herself came to my door, frost in her hair, asking for help. She said it was an emergency and the HOA was temporarily lifting the rule. I just stared at her. Thought I wasn't allowed to plow, I said. She hemmed and hawed, said it was just this once. I asked if I should charge people like Brandon. She didn't like that. I said, nope. I stopped just like you wanted. She got red in the face, threatened the HOA board would hear about this. I closed the door on her. I'll admit it felt good. Was it a little cruel? Maybe. But I was done being the free labor for a bunch of ungrateful people while Jennifer's family cashed in. When the storm cleared, Brandon finally showed up, charging a premium. Of course, some neighbors got plowed out, but others ones who hadn't signed up or couldn't pay were still stranded. That's when the HOA called an emergency meeting. Jennifer stood up front, announced a new plan, mandatory snow removal, $600 per household for the rest of the winter. No exceptions. No debate. The room exploded. People started shouting, "This is a scam," and Marcus, bless him, called her out for forcing everyone to hire her son's business. I stood up. I used to help for free, I said, until you threatened to fine me. Jennifer tried to make it about procedures insurance, but the crowd was with me. So I made an offer. I'll get licensed and insured plow driveways for anyone who wants for $45 each. No contracts, no BS. You should have seen the hands go up. Jennifer went purple. She adjourned the meeting and stormed out. That weekend, I registered as a business, got insured, passed the safety certification. Printed up flyers, went door to door. 43 houses signed up by Monday. Cue the next round of threats. This time, a cease and desist. I was storing commercial vehicles on residential property. I called a lawyer, Thomas Brennan guy, looked like he chewed up HOA boards for breakfast. He laughed when he saw the letter. They're grasping at straws, he said. Just keep everything above board. I'll handle the rest. More storms, more plowing, more dirty tricks from Jennifer. She started calling the cops, claiming noise violations. The cops showed up, sometimes apologetic, sometimes not. I showed my licenses, explained the exemption for snow removal. No tickets, just keep it down speeches. Then finally, she fined me. $300 for a noise violation. Thomas fought it, added it to our complaint. We went to court, me, Jennifer, her lawyer, and surprised someone from the Attorney General's office. Turns out they'd been investigating the HOA. Found evidence of self-dealing, over $60,000 paid to Jennifer's family business. No competitive bids, no disclosure. Plus, no elections in 6 years. The judge was not amused, voided the assessment, ordered new elections, a full audit, and best of all, put a stop to all harassment against me. If Jennifer called the cops again, she'd be held in contempt. I walked out feeling lighter than I'd felt in months. That night, neighbors stopped by to thank me. Mrs. Patterson baked me a pie. It was actually kind of touching. We held new elections in March. Marcus got on the board along with a retired teacher and a young IT guy. Jennifer didn't even run. The audit came back ugly, tens of thousands paid out for services that were never done. The state pressed charges. Jennifer got 18 months in prison, her sister-in-law a year. Brandon had to pay back most of what he'd taken. His business tanked. Meanwhile, I kept plowing. The new board was fair reasonable, even hired me for the common areas, after getting competitive bids, of course. I trained a high school kid, Jake, to help. The whole neighborhood started to feel like a neighborhood again. Mrs. Patterson threw a barbecue in May. Marcus made a toast. To Quentin, the stubbornest guy in Vermont. We all laughed. I didn't do it alone, though. Everyone played a part. But I'll tell you, sitting there, burger in hand, looking around at all these people, I realized what I'd really learned. It's not about snow, or driveways, or even about winning. It's about standing up, especially when it's hard. About not letting a handful of people run roughshod over everyone else just because they think they can. The next winter, I had a second plow, more contracts, Jake working full-time. No drama, no threats, just honest work in a community that finally felt like home. The board even put up a little monument, just a simple plaque, with the names of everyone who stood up. I tried to talk them out of putting my name first. They did it anyway. I guess someone's got to be first. Jennifer wrote to me from prison, asked me to visit. I went just out of curiosity. She apologized, said she got drunk on power, tried to justify it for her family, but deep down she knew she was wrong. I told her I never wanted you to go to prison. I just wanted to plow driveways. She nodded, said she'd learned her lesson. I don't know if I forgave her, but I understood. Power corrupts. That's just human nature. Now, years later, I'm still here. The HOA runs smoothly. Jake's my business partner now, Yates and Morrison Snow Services. We plow over 100 driveways every storm. Mrs. Patterson passed away last spring, left me $1,000 in her will, for the young man who made my last winters bearable. Keep helping people. I started a scholarship fund for kids going into skilled trades. So what's the moral? Honestly, I learned that even one stubborn person can make a difference, but you need others with you. Marcus Thomas. Everyone who refused to pay the AG the judge. Change takes a team, not a hero. And you listening, maybe you've dealt with people like Jennifer. Maybe you've let something slide because you thought it wasn't worth the fight. Maybe you've wondered if standing up even matters. I get it. It's hard. But sometimes you just have to plant your feet and refuse to budge. That's how you build a real community. Not by obeying every rule, but by refusing to let the wrong people write the rules in the first place. So let me ask you, where's your line? When do you stand up? When is enough? Enough. Let me know what you think. Have you ever had to take on an HOA, a boss, a system? Did you win? Or did you just end up with a plow and a stubborn streak like me? Tell your story. I'll be here. Coffee in hand, waiting for the next storm, ready to clear another driveway.